Hi, bitch besties! Welcome to another episode. And look who's here, Peanut. And look where we are. We're in the park, and the Hollywood sign is somewhere up there on that hill, but you can't see it because we're sitting down in the grass. Today's Wednesday, I believe, February 11 or something like that. And I just watched. All right, go play, Peanut. I just watched the latest episode of Summer House this morning. It's the episode where Ciara brings her friend and it ends with a dinner where Kyle is trying to apologize. What are you looking for? Where Kyle is trying to apologize and then gets in a fight and gets up off the table. That episode is what I'm referring to. And I just have so many thoughts and opinions on this episode that I thought I'm going to record a solo episode and discuss that with you guys. I found it so cringe to watch. I mean, of course, we know that they are broken up now, Amanda and Kyle, which I guess is for the best. But, it's kind of weird to say because obviously you don't wish this on anybody, right? You always wish that the marriage works out and nobody gets divorced. But reality is 50% or something of marriages don't make it. And this is one where, unfortunately, me as a judgy bitch, I feel like I kind of saw that coming. I mean, didn't we all see this coming from a mile away? But of course, I was always hoping that they can work it out somehow. Yeah, but unfortunately it didn't. And I personally must say, I think it's for the better if they don't stay together. They both don't seem happy right now. And I wish them both happiness and everything. But yeah, maybe let's unpack this a little bit and dive deeper into this episode. And I want to share my thoughts with you while I'm throwing the ball here for Peanut. So sorry if I'm being a little distracted, but it's such a nice day, sunny day here in Los Angeles. And I thought when I'm sitting here in the park and playing with Peanut, why not also talk to my bitch besties out there? And this episode is going to come out next Tuesday. As I said, today is Wednesday. And hopefully by then, New York City will not be freezing as much anymore, and the rest of the country either. And even my listeners overseas, I'm sending you some sunshine. I know it's winter time everywhere, and I'm so lucky that I'm here in LA. Anyway, the Amanda and Kyle thing, I find it so cringe to watch for multiple reasons. I mean, obviously, the main reason is that there's just such a huge lesson to learn from their relationship. And I think the main lesson we can learn is that you just can't change a guy, right? Didn't we all see this coming from a mile away? Did you make a friend? Another dog. The relationship kind of started this way, that Kyle would always go out and not come home, and Amanda going crazy and calling him hundreds of times. I'm being kissed by a million dogs right now. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's just water. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's just water. Okay. The relationship kind of started off this way, with Kyle always going out and staying out late and Amanda calling him a million times, right? And I mean, we all know that you can't change a guy. You can only change yourself, right? And the fact that they even got married, they struggled so much even before they got married, was a surprise to me, because there's another lesson we can learn from this, right? Never get married with such big unresolved issues. But it's also so easy from the outside looking in, right? And to give your judgy bitch opinion, as opposed to being in it. And if you've been listening to my podcast for a while, you know that I'm also divorced, and I've been through an abusive relationship. Not saying that this one is abusive, maybe to a certain degree, but not as bad as the abuse that I suffered. But I just want to sympathize with them, that it's not easy to go through a divorce. But I also do want to point out that it seems like they're just not a good match, to be honest, right? Um, and what I find very cringy about this season and why it makes it so hard watching, especially the episode I watched today, is that the way they handle it and they go about it. And it seems to me that Amanda is just checked out. She just resents Kyle for his life choices so much that it's very much not salvageable from that standpoint. And of course, we know that it's not, and they are separated now, probably heading towards a divorce. But what I find very disturbing a little bit and cringy is how outspoken she is about it. And of course, they're on a reality TV show, and I can appreciate the realness and the rawness about it. And, we all enjoy watching it to a certain degree. It's almost like this weird thing about, a car accident where you just can't look away a little bit. So we, of course, keep watching it. And compared to other reality TV shows, I enjoy it so much because it is real. It is not some fake drama, made up drama or drama over bullshit. This is actual real life drama. And I appreciate that they're all sharing that much as they are sharing. But it's also a little odd to me that Amanda will just in the group setting continuously speak so badly about her husband and continuously point out his flaws and make him so bad and put him down all the time. And also she's constantly nagging on him and trying to be the mother role, trying to teach him and change him. And girl, that ain't gonna work, That's the huge lesson here. I'm sorry you have to learn it the hard way, but you can't change a guy, and you can change for the opportunity there is, that you see, the potential you see of what kind of relationship it could be. That's not going to work out. You have to take it as face value. Yeah, but this constant putting him down in front of others and the constant nagging makes it really cringe for me. Does she have a reason to do so? Sure. I mean, who wants to be married to a guy who's that much older? There's also this age gap between them, right? He's so much older than her, but she seems to have her shit more together than he does. You could say that, but you could also argue that it's just a different lifestyle choice. I mean, there's also nothing really wrong about being a DJ and making your money this way. There's super successful DJs out there, right? So why not? But I guess they just don't make the perfect match because their lifestyle choices are so different. They're not only on different pages, they're in complete different books, So I understand that that's clashing and they're butting heads over it. And then what I also noticed with Amanda being so outspoken and always in a group setting, I wonder if they have those conversations privately too. I assume they do, and maybe they just don't get anywhere because they are in two different books. But as a viewer, it's almost like, oh, can we not do this in a group setting? Can we just have those conversations privately? That's how it feels like to me, at least. And you guys let me know how you feel about it. And then whenever she says that, she almost always has this smirk in her face. Like, what is that about? She almost comes across a little bit as superior and arrogant. Like, I'm so much better than Kyle. And, look at me and look at him down there. Like condescending and superior and arrogant. And I don't like that vibe that I'm getting. Of course, she is very mature for her age, and she is not wrong. Of course not. She is not wrong with the way she thinks and feels about it. They're just not a good match. And she has good things going for herself, with the bikini line she's working on and all that. She can be proud of herself, and she should be. And I do envy her confidence very much so, because, I need a little work on my confidence. I do envy that. It just comes across as a little icky when you're talking about your husband with a smirk in your face. And, it just, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one feeling this way. Let me know how you guys feel about it, but that's how I take it. And then on the other side, Kyle, of course, you could argue that at his age, I don't even know his age. Is he 40, early 40s, something like that? he should have his shit together and blah, blah, blah. But you can also argue that he does. He has this company, Loverboy, that doesn't seem to do so well. And that's why he took on the DJing. At least that's what he said, I believe, in the episode today, to make up for maybe the losses from Loverboy or something. But also last season, he gave her so much shit about taking on a passion project on her own, right? Like he didn't want that at all. And that doesn't seem fair either. So, I don't want to blame either side for the breakup or make one more responsible than the other. Absolutely not. And also, who am I to judge besides being the judgy bitch, right? But I feel like you can look at the coin from both sides, right? And when you look at Kyle, he should be happy that Amanda is going out there and finding a passion project that makes her happy. And, she needed to get away a little bit. They were just too close, 24/7, living together, working together. Of course, that causes friction in a relationship, right? And maybe her being so successful on the Loverboy front with the packaging and all that, maybe that also kind of hurt his ego a little bit, So I feel like they needed that distance a little bit, maybe just the work separation, right? Um, so I never understood why he just didn't want her to do that. He should have been so happy for her. But, maybe it hurt his ego that she was the one successful and he wasn't. I don't know. I'm just assuming over here. So that was also a big thing on his side, despite what I mentioned before, that they're just not a good match. They have complete different lifestyle choices and preferences, and that they will never get on the same page with that unless one of them completely changes. And apparently they don't communicate well enough with each other. They don't have the ability to really compromise. I'm sure even with different lifestyle choices like them both, you could technically find a middle ground somehow, but that would take a lot of communication, boundaries, compromising. And I almost wish they would seek a counselor and get some help with that, instead of just spiraling down. But honestly, from the episode I watched today, there's almost, from my point of view, almost no hope. It seemed really that Amanda just has so much resentment for him and she's so checked out. It even appears a little bit that she's open to flirting with the other boys, the new boys in the house. And they talked about the Italy trip where they met the one guy and were skinny dipping and everything. She lit up. Her face completely lit up. And I don't know if I'm just making that up or if there's actual, when you're unhappy in a relationship for so long. And she even said that on the car ride up to the house, it's been 5 long years that they're married. When you're unhappy and maybe suppressed in the relationship for so long, any little glimmer of feel good is of course what you're gravitating towards, right? And maybe Natalie, the cute guy, I forgot his name. You know me, I'm so bad with names. Maybe he flirted a little bit and that felt good. So of course she's gravitating towards that rather than Kyle giving her shit all the time, right? So it's just all human and understandable, right? Although I'm being a judgy bitch, but I kind of also can relate to all this shit. Let me just make sure that peanuts are running off here. Back there sniffing somewhere. Yeah, so I don't know. Bitch besties, let me know how you feel about this episode, but I had a really hard time watching it. I really felt cringe watching it. I really suffered through this episode a little bit. And then, the whole Ciara thing. I love for Amanda that she has her bestie right there, right? And I love that she can share everything she's going through with her, and Ciara understands her and motivates her and gives her great feedback and everything. We all want a bestie like that we can share our sorrows with, right? And our thoughts with and everything. The unfortunate situation is just that they're all in the house together, right? So that kind of puts Ciara in the middle of things. Of course, she has a choice here, and her choice is to say something to Kyle, which I don't necessarily agree with. I don't think it's her place to step up. I understand the motivation behind it. Of course, she wants to help her bestie, right? And say something and support her in that way. But I don't honestly think it's her place to say anything. So that made me cringe too. And then I just couldn't help but feel sorry a little bit for Kyle, especially at that dinner at the end where he was just trying to take accountability and trying to apologize for making the house feel uncomfortable with their ongoing fights. And she didn't give him any room to show any emotions. By she, I mean Amanda. She just didn't leave him any room to apologize or like to tap into his emotions and share that with the house a little bit. And then it felt almost like Ciara and Amanda are teaming up against Kyle. And that's a very uncomfortable situation to be in too, right? And then she makes him, like, calls him out in front of the group. I mean, that's going to hurt everybody's ego. And, she says, you should have said sorry to me in private. And he's like, well, I did on Sunday. So even the call out wasn't probably really justified and not the 100% truth. I don't know. The whole situation just seemed icky. Peanut! Peanut! Come! Sorry, I had to call my little sidekick back here. He was going so far away. And I want him closer. There he is. Can you see him? There's my little peanut. Yeah. So that dinner almost made me feel sorry for Kyle. And also, I felt a little sorry for him, if I may say so, that he just didn't gauge the gravity of what was going on. He said in this one scene that just he feels so misunderstood and mistreated almost. And he loves her so much and he doesn't think his marriage is at risk. Like, it almost felt like he's oblivious a little bit to what's really going wrong on. But that also made me feel sorry for him. I mean, he's a little delusional there, right? They've been fighting for so long, for so many years over the same issues. And she's been voicing so much what she wants from him, that she wants him to be home more. And he just does, live his life and do what he thinks and really doesn't hear her. They just don't connect with each other, right? They don't hear each other. That's why I'm saying they're not really communicating well. So for him to be so delusional and think that everything is fine in the marriage, that almost hurt me, that I really felt bad for him. Yeah. But I would say they both need to work on each other. They both need to reflect. And hopefully they eventually have the ability to see what went wrong and learn from it. And I think for us, what we can learn is, once again, that, you cannot change anybody else. You cannot date for the potential of what the relationship could be like. You have to take it at face value. And if you notice so early on, like they did, that they just have completely different lifestyles. She wants to be, out in New Jersey and settle down and have a family and, enjoy life this way. And he wants to be out partying and getting shit-faced every night. And if they cannot compromise on that, then we as viewers can just learn from that you should maybe not get married then. And also, she was very honest about that they don't have a prenup and that she's regretting that right now. So that's also something we can take away as a lesson from that, right? Yeah. And especially with the business involved, I'm kind of curious how bad the numbers are. I would love to know if the business is really not doing well, and if it's not doing well, how bad it is and how they're going to separate that. Because, they were both working on it. It was his baby. He started it, but they were both involved in it. And yeah, I'd love to see the details of that. Yeah. But then also with her passion project, her bikini line, I mean, they're married. You would assume that he supports her when she's out doing her stuff. So maybe that should be split up somehow as well. All the assets in the relationship maybe should be split up somehow. I don't know if it has to be an equal split, 50-50, or if there's a different percentage range. But if there's no prenup, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know anything. I'm just, guessing here and assuming and sharing my thoughts with you guys. I would love for you guys to let me know your thoughts. Give me your takes. Inspire me with new takes and hot tea that you guys have. Yeah. But coming back to the season, I mean, the trailer for the upcoming season looked very interesting. I'm also interested in seeing how the new people integrate. For now, those two girls, and you know me, I don't know the names. The blonde one seems like she could add some drama to the whole show. The other one seems very shy and quiet, but has a potential to be super funny, maybe. Um, and then the boys, I mean, they're just smoking hot. I mean, what can I say? They might be way too young for me, but man, they are good to look at. I mean, they're definitely eye candy. So I would like to see how that unfolds more. And then Ciara had this conversation with the guy where she opened up. That was also very interesting. That she opened up about her family life, which kind of also gives you a little bit of background why she feels the way she feels about the Amanda and Kyle situation, right? And why she's fighting so hard for her friend. That makes total sense now that you know where she's coming from. Yeah, I can't wait to see more of that. And then poor Kyle reached out to Lindsay because he also needed somebody to vent to who was not in the house, who heard Amanda's side of the story, who was more open minded. And Lindsay, I feel like, has changed so much since she became a mommy. I feel like she has softened up. She used to have those villain vibes, and currently, at least, I don't really get them from her. But let's see. Once she joins the house, or even the new spin off show, we'll see how that's going to last. But so far, I really like Mama Lindsay. I love her vibes. And she also felt for Kyle. That was my impression, the way she told the girls about what Kyle had said and how he's so crushed and everything. So we'll see how that goes. And then Ciara's new friend that she just introduced today in the episode that I watched, I mean, I like her very much already. So I can't wait to see how that develops, that whole storyline develops. Yeah. And then the spin off, In the City, I think it's called. I'm curious to see what that's going to be about. Hi. It's only with Amanda, Kyle, and Lindsay. They filmed it in the fall. It's supposed to be like the continuous of the after summer with just featuring those three. Um,
Oh. What's
So-
his name?
Peanut.
Peanuts.
Yeah.
Peanuts.
So we'll see how that goes. I was kind of hoping, of course, that they would bring the Giggly Squad in, Hannah and Paige. Although I'm not sure if either of them are willing to be in another reality TV show right now. I think they're so successful with what they have going on. And I love listening to the Giggly Squad so much. I'm a giggler. I love that. But it would have been great to see Amanda and the girls come back together, especially with Hannah makeup. It's been so long, and it almost feels like maybe the riff was just because of the show. So it would have been great to see them all back together. I think we're all like craving that a little bit. But let me know if you're not, if you're over them. I want to hear your side of the story. Yeah, so I can wait to see how that's going to play out, especially since Amanda recently said on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen that they separated in right before BravoCon in October or early November, and isn't that supposedly the time frame when they filmed In the City? So I wonder if that's on the show then. I can wait to see that. Yeah, but I'm also afraid that that also might be more cringe to watch if that's the final days and that's on camera, the whole split up. I don't know. It was so cringe already when um Lindsay and Carl split up and that was on camera. That was already, I mean, good TV, I guess. We all enjoyed watching it, but it was also very cringe, right? Like, it almost feels like the invasion of privacy a little bit when you see those private moments play out in front of camera, doesn't it? Do you guys feel the same, or is it just me? I don't almost like in German we have this word. It's called Fremdschämen, where you almost humiliated. You feel humiliation for the other person, and that's a little bit how I feel in those situations. Yeah, and I mean we could have a complete different episode about the Lindsay and Carl thing. But yeah, I'm just curious to see how this all plays out, and then of course, since this is a reality TV show, I also always wonder when it's a TV show, how much the producers meddle in this whole situation, how much they influence what is being said in front of the camera, right? So just wondering, maybe Amanda didn't even want to say all those things in front of the groom, but the producers kind of made her say that. I don't know. Just wondering. I always wonder about that aspect because I have no idea how that really works with um, producers and everything. Yeah. But that's just my thoughts on the whole episode that I watched today. I wanted to share with you guys. More and more dogs are arriving here at the parks. I think I need to come to an end slowly and pay attention to what Peanut's up to with his buddies here. But I just wanted to share how cringe that was for me and how sad I am for them, but also kind of glad, if I may say so. I hope they each found happiness, and I feel like they've both been so unhappy lately that maybe it's the best thing for them to go separate ways. And, hopefully they can go through the separation amicably and stay friends after. And hopefully they will not have an impact for us viewers on the summer house too much. We don't want the house to be too divided. The country is divided enough. Yeah, so we'll see how that's going on. But I just had to come on here and share my thoughts with you guys, my bitch besties, on the episode I saw today, because it was just such a heavy episode and it really affected me. And I had so many thoughts and opinions, and it just didn't sit well with me how this all plays out in front of the camera. And, both sides are not perfect. And yeah, I don't know. You guys, let me know how you feel, your thoughts. I can wait to hear from you. I can wait for the rest of the season. I can wait for the new spin-off in the city that's starting in March, I believe. And yeah, I'll keep you posted. I'm probably come back on here and discuss the rest of the season with you guys. But please, please, please send me your feedback. Let me know your takes. And happy Tuesday. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye, bitch besties.